Now at 11, rising tensions. Outrage spills into the street 24 hours after an NYPD officer shoots and kills a woman.
Then we showed you a train engineer reading a newspaper at the controls and may have thought he got away with it. The scathing new report.
And an incredible run, a special tribute to a very special woman. Our very own Sue Simmons, 32 wonderful years filled with memories.
Live from Studio 3C in Rockefeller Center, this is News 4 New York.
Good evening. Slamming the NYPD. Tonight, outrage over the shooting death of an unarmed woman in Brooklyn has a community on edge.
An angry crowd marched into the streets chanting murder a day after a police officer shot that woman in the chest during a struggle in a stolen car, possibly shot her by accident. News 4's Bryn Gingras is live right now in East Flatbush with details for us. Bryn?
Yeah, Chuck and Sue, tensions continue to be high. There's still a group of people here surrounding the spot where Chantel Davis died last night. They're lighting candles, they're dancing to music, but at the same time, they're demanding answers from police.
Racist cops, you can't hide!
Residents of East Flatbush surrounded a police cruiser this evening and delivered their message directly to the NYPD.
We charge you with genocide!
The community is in grief, the family is in grief, and the community needs healing. And they need to have an explanation.
An explanation about how 23-year-old Chantel Davis died at the hands of an NYPD officer Thursday night. According to investigators, Davis was driving a stolen car, weaving through traffic when officers tried to arrest her. One shot was fired into her chest. An NYPD spokesperson says it's unclear if the officer intended to open fire. Residents here say that officer has a history on these streets.
His idea of a stop and frisk is punch a gun in your face.
And they claim last night was no accident.
We need some type of justice here for what he has done before and what he has done yesterday.
Tonight, a box full of lighted candles at the corner of Church Avenue and East 38th Street served as a memorial and a symbol that this community won't quiet down until they see justice.
If we didn't have police brutality and murder, we wouldn't have to have this shrine here for her.
And more is planned for tomorrow. This same group plans to return here, hold another vigil, and then march to the 76th precinct in protest. I'm live in East Flatbush, Bryn Gingras, News 4 New York. Chuck?
Bryn, thank you. New tonight, NYPD detectives and crime scene examiners are hard at work in Fresh Meadows, Queens, after a grim discovery in Cunningham Park. A body was found early this evening. Police describe the remains as heavily decomposed, and because of that, the age and gender of the victim are not clear.
Now to a controversial election year move by the president, one that will significantly alter immigration policy here in the United States. The Obama administration plans to stop the deportation of roughly 800,000 illegal immigrants who came to the country as children. That's more than the population of Boston. As News 4's Katie Turr explains, the decision is being cheered by some and chastised by others.
I mean, when you get down to the basics, I'm American.
22-year-old Natalie Lopez calls herself a dreamer. And today, after 18 years of waiting in the U.S., President Obama started to make her dream come true.
This is huge. This is a historic moment for this country where it's coming in and it's finally taking a stance on immigration.
These are young people who study in our schools, they play in our neighborhoods, they're friends with our kids. They pledge allegiance to our flag.
Lopez is just one of potentially 1 million of those pledging allegiance to our flag, albeit illegally. The Fiscal Policy Institute estimates that about 3,627 undocumented students graduate from high school in New York every year. Students that, if qualify, would be able to start working legally as soon as 60 days from now.
We just want to give back, to contribute to the country that gave us so much growing up.
Starting immediately, the government will no longer deport anyone brought to the U.S. before they were 16, so long as they're under 30 now, have lived here for at least 5 years, graduated or are currently in school, and haven't committed a serious crime. Criticism from the right came almost immediately, but most chastised the president more for superseding Congress rather than the substance of the order.
I think the action that the president took today makes it more difficult to reach that long-term solution because an executive order is, of course, just a short-term matter.
Back in New York, Lopez, a junior at Baruch College, conceded that, yes, this was just a short-term solution. but one that she hopes will pave the way. Today's announcement comes on the 30th anniversary of the Supreme Court's decision to allow the children of illegal immigrants to get a public education here in the United States. In Sunset Park, Katie Turr. Chuck and Sue, back to you.
Katie, thank you. Also new tonight, a captain and his crew had to be rescued by the Coast Guard after their fishing boat caught fire near Jones Beach. And we have photographs of the rescue operation. The Coast Guard raced to the 48-foot vessel that was stranded in Jones Inlet around 6 o'clock. Local fire and rescue personnel assisted in the operation. They managed to get the captain and 6 others off the boat successfully. One person did suffer minor injuries, and it's unclear what caused the fire.
A New Jersey man faces a series of charges tonight, accused of dealing weapons from a small arsenal inside his home. 37-year-old James Patrick Donovan was arrested this afternoon. We have a photo of the scene when state police bomb squad and SWAT teams surrounded his home in Raritan Township. Police say Donovan stockpiled and sold assault weapons, ammunition, and explosives. They spent the afternoon removing the weapons cache from the house in Hunterdon County. Investigators are trying to get to the bottom of his alleged operation.
Lax supervision and no-show jobs on Metro North trains. Those are some of the scathing accusations in a new report from the state controller's office tonight. Andrew Siff has reaction from commuters worried their safety's been compromised.
Here's a new potential explanation for that train engineer looking at the paper instead of watching the tracks.
Lax supervision, non-existent supervision.
State Controller Tom DiNapoli told me after his office did a 2-year audit of 300 Metro North rides, they found something troubling. Even though the MTA had created a special team of supervisors called the Onboard Services Unit, staff members failed to document 29% of the rides. Some were paid in excess of $170,000 for work that might not have been performed. And in 14% of the rides, staffers simply were not on the job. DiNapoli told me that might explain how an engineer could read while driving a train, as News 4 first showed you.
If you think no one's really looking, you're going to feel you can get away with something like what you uncovered.
During tonight's rush home at Grand Central Terminal, Metro North commuters in a tough economy weren't happy to hear about the alleged no-show jobs.
It bothers me because they keep raising the ticket prices. So if they're paying people to do something and they're not doing it, they're wasting taxpayers' money.
Does it bother you as a rider?
Of course it bothers me as a rider, because it affects the safety of, first of our commute, and on top of that, we pay higher fees for these people's salaries.
An MTA spokeswoman told me that based on the audit's findings, the Onboard Services Unit has been disbanded. And the MTA promises other employees can do the work the special unit wasn't doing. In fact, they're telling me tonight 33% fewer people can do the same amount of work that had been assigned to the now disbanded team. That seems to be an acknowledgement that supervision on these trains has been lacking. Sue and Chuck.
Andrew, thank you. The flames were fast moving and hopping house to house. In the end, fire destroyed one home on Woodside Avenue in Elmsford in Westchester County and damaged 2 others. The intense heat melted the siding of one of the homes. Crews remain on the scene tonight, putting out hot spots. No injuries reported.
Coming up, what's causing healthy babies to test positive for drugs?
Plus, hate in Brooklyn, what police hope leads them to the person behind this disturbing vandalism. And
a daring night in Niagara Falls. This man's walk into history. I think that was Joan Rivers, though.
Well, 32 years of Sue. We're celebrating her career on this, her final broadcast at NBC. I think Joan had something to do with that. But we got the tape switched.
Maybe we gotta go to a break. Maybe let's go to a break. This is terrible.
Sue, it's Joan Rivers. Who am I going to watch? Who am I going to get my news from? This makes me so sad. I'm not going to say goodbye because you're going to pop up somewhere bigger and better. I love you, and I'll see you very soon.
Sue, you're a quintessential New Yorker. We're going to miss you.
Sue Simmons, it's Andy Cohen from Bravo, your biggest fan. Sue, I am so upset to see you go. You are not only the realest housewife in all of New York City, you are New York City. You're the Empire State Building. You're the Statue of Liberty. New York TV will not be the same without you. I'm gonna miss you, but I'll never forget you. Bye, Sue.
An Orthodox Jewish community in Brooklyn is on edge tonight after a vandal spray-painted swastikas. Surveillance video caught the hooded man at work in Borough Park, and residents woke up there to swastikas scrolled on the corner store, a car parked, and a synagogue on 16th Avenue. Local lawmakers are condemning the attacks. A $1,000 reward has been offered for information leading to an arrest.
New research from the University of North Carolina is suggesting that some popular baby soaps could cause newborns to test positive for marijuana. The amounts were small, under a millimeter, found of the drug's active ingredient, THC. The 5 soaps tested were Johnson & Johnson's head-to-toe bath wash, J&J bedtime bath, CVS nighttime baby bath, Aveeno Soothing Relief Creamy Wash, and Aveeno Wash Shampoo. Researchers do stress that the drug exposure doesn't affect the babies.
Remember, the famous Flying Walindas just made history as the first person to tightrope walk over Niagara Falls. Nick Walenda quickly tiptoed in the final steps of his historic 1,500-foot walk, more than 170 feet above the falls. While he did wear a safety harness, the 7th-generation daredevil braved wet and windy conditions for this historic walk.
I think I'm ready for a walk off of Niagara Falls. I don't know why.
But Andy Cohen forgot to say you are the Niagara Falls of New York, too, of all the television news, and keeping up with the theme of how wonderful you are and how big you are, too. We miss you already. So.
Thank you, Jen.
All right, let's talk a little weather, because we've got lots to say, and that's about a great weekend weather-wise. Our top of the rock camera, I don't see Sue there, but she's out there because she is part of the skyline and the fabric of New York. All right, our temperature right now in the park is 64. Skies are mostly clear. It is comfortably cool outside right now. Hope you get a chance to enjoy the weather this weekend. It should be nice in most areas. No rain on Doppler radar. Live Doppler is quiet across the area. Should stay that way for the most part. There could be an isolated sprinkle that might pop up well north and west of the city over the weekend, and that would be Saturday evening, but most areas dry. A little disturbance up there. Clouds will be moving onshore tonight or tomorrow night and into Sunday morning, but Sunday afternoon should be a bit sunnier. It will be cooler, though, on Father's Day compared to tomorrow. Right now, the temperatures range from 58 in Englishtown to 62 in Princeton. Temperatures right around 61 in Islip, 50s in the Hamptons, 66 in Newburgh right now, 61 in Monticello. For tonight, lows in the 50s to the low 60s. Great sleeping weather for sure. A light southeast wind down to 50 in Rock Hill, so you'll be quite cool tonight. And temperatures tomorrow into the 70s to near 80 degrees. Here's our 7-day forecast. Enjoy this Father's Day weekend. 77 tomorrow, cooler Sunday, 72. Monday's cool, but it's still nice and dry with a temperature around 71. We're up to near 80 by Tuesday, and the heat is on, Sue. Heat is on Wednesday into the 90s, Wednesday and Thursday.
I'll have plenty of time to enjoy it.
Do that, you will.
Thank
Bruce, what's coming up?
What's coming up? The Mets, of course. Did the Amazes do something amazing for their diehard fan Sue Simmons on her final night at NBC? Or did they let her down? That story is just ahead.
Hi, Sue. Sorry to hear you're leaving the anchor desk at WNBC. I watch you every night on the East Coast feed. We wish you the very best, and you'll be missed. God bless you.
When you talk about famous, iconic couples, there's Liz and Dick, there's Bogey and McCall, Fred and Ginger, Heidi and Spencer, Kim and Kanye West, and of course, Chuck and Sue. I pass this picture every day. It hangs outside our Studio 6B, which was Sue's home from 1980 until they left a year before we moved in. I still feel her good vibes here, and I'm gonna miss her voice. I'm gonna miss her face. I'm gonna miss seeing her in the elevators. You were always nice to me. I love you, Sue Simmons. Bye, Sue. We love you.
The Verizon Fios Sports Desk is brought to you by Verizon Fios. Welcome to America's fastest, most consistent, most reliable internet. Welcome to Life on Fios.
Oh, Bruce is here, and you are chock full tonight.
Oh, not really that much time, Sue. All right, it was day 2 of the U.S. Open. Tiger Woods is tied atop the leaderboard at 1 under par with Jim Furyk and David Toms. As for Sue's favorite team, the Mets, well, the magic was missing tonight against the Reds. In the 3rd inning, Brandon Phillips connects on a 2-run homer off Dylan G to snap the Amazins' 3-game winning streak. 7-3 the final. Sorry, Sue. The Yankees beat the Nationals 7-2. And finally, since Sue loves sports, we'd like to share some warm wishes from stars on the New York sports scene.
Hey, Sue, it's Terry Collins. Sue, what's going on? It's David Wright.
This is Doc Gideon. Hi, Sue. Mark Messier, the New York Rangers.
Hey, Sue, this is Tom Coughlin, Giants coach.
Sue, this is Derek Jeter here.
Well, Sue, we're here in the Mets booth. Gary, Keith, and Ron.
I have very fond memories of you, watching you on TV, and of course, I have been in the studio during Live at 5. Network news will never be the same. We'll miss you a lot.
I just want to say thank you very much for being a part of New York all these years. Wish you nothing but the best. It's been a privilege to watch.
I want to congratulate you. What a magnificent run.
I've always been a big fan, and I wish you all the best in the future.
It's been great knowing you over the years, and look forward to seeing you real soon. We'll catch a game.
Just wanted to take a second to wish you all the best, and always understand there's a place next to me on the bench when you're ready to manage. We appreciate your support throughout the years, and thanks for always being there for us.
Some nice words to Sue Simmons, whose elegance and excellence will not soon be forgotten. 32 years, 32 roses. I love you, dear.
Oh, my goodness, Bruce, thank you. They're beautiful. They're beautiful. Thank you.
Now,
the moment's nice.
Yes, our tributes are going to continue in a moment, but before we take a break, we do want to show you a little something that happened at Citi Field tonight, Sue. A little surprise. Take a look. The scoreboard. There you are. Thank you to News 4 New York, Sue Simmons, for an incredible 3 decades.
Very nice. Very nice.
We'll be right back.
Oh, there it is.
Well, it's official. The mayor proclaimed this Sue Simmons Day, recognizing this fabulous woman's place in New York television history. It's wonderful. Actually, we don't have time to read the entire thing, but when you do, you will love it. You will love it. You know, tonight we've been sharing comments of some of Sue's many admirers, and there is another one here from across the hall in Studio 3B.
Hey, Sue, I'm now old enough to hear nice people come up to me and say, I grew up watching you, and I'm always taken aback to hear it. But in this case, Sue, I grew up watching you over on the Jersey Shore within sight of the Verrazano Bridge and the Twin Towers. May they all rest in peace. We were a Channel 4 family, a Live at 5 family, a Chuck and Sue family, and now I have a family of my own, and we're the same way, and you're a part of it. I remember the night you broke in with the bulletin from Ford's Theater. Sue, I'm kidding there, but you are a part of the firmament of New York television. As your friend, I will miss you. As your coworker, I will miss you. And for many years, I've proudly been able to say, I work with Sue Simmons.
Okay, are we going to break soon?
We'll be right back.
Okay.
Closed captioning provided by Toyota. Learn more about NBC4 New York's recent job opportunities by logging on to NBCUNIcareers.com or by calling our toll-free number.
There's one lesson that life keeps teaching us, that nothing lasts forever. And we've come to one of those teaching moments. For the last 3 decades, it's been my privilege to share the anchor desk with this very special woman. Funny, unpredictable, dangerous, and always there when you and I needed her, covering the news that shaped our lives. For 32 and a half years at 11 o'clock on NBC4, it's been Chuck and Sue. But that's as close as we're going to get to forever. Tonight is Sue's final night. And it's fitting that we devote the rest of this newscast to looking back at this extraordinary career of a broadcasting legend.
Tonight, I gain a partner on the late edition of News Center 4, Sue Simmons.
This may have been her introduction to the New York audience, but Sue was no newcomer to the city. She was born in Greenwich Village to Dorothy and John Simmons, her father a well-known bass player. Years later, she went from secretary to announcing school to the minor leagues.
Good evening, I'm Sue Simmons.
In 1976, she joined the NBC family at WRC in Washington. And then...
This is News Center 4.
Veto by the Soviet Union in the UN. Good evening, I'm Sue Simmons.
From the beginning, we knew this native New Yorker was not going to be your run-of-the-mill anchor. It wasn't long before the bosses realized they had a unique talent on their hands. Live at 5 was born.
From News 4 New York, this is Live at 5 with
Sue's co-anchor, Jack Cafferty.
And after I'd been here a couple of years, Sue and I wound up on the cover of New York Magazine with a story titled Live at 5, the hottest show on television. And it was. and she was the reason.
I do that every day.
Everyone who was anyone wanted to be on Live at 5.
So glad I'm on the highest rated pre-news show in New York City.
Stars before they were superstars, mayors, senators, even a president. It was a dream come true for this daughter of a jazz musician.
We do all know each other in this business. That's what's so wonderful.
Lena Horne was always my hero. When she came in, it was royalty arriving as far as I was concerned. I don't remember one word of the interview because, you know, when you're nervous, you can't think straight. But I understand that when she left, she yelled into the makeup room and said, "Hey, that Sue Simmons is fun. I'd like to hang out with her." Well, could it get any better?
The people who came on this program to have fun primarily with Sue Simmons and Jack Cafferty was legend. Orson Welles was on Live at 5, for gosh sake. It was in no small part a tribute to what Sue Simmons does on the air.
How do you feel about all of this?
Well, Sue, I'll tell you. It feels pretty good. You cannot possibly be on all the time.
I don't know what I am. I mean, some people say I'm a blues singer, a jazz singer,
I'd
gospel.
say you are a singer,
right.
Period.
We owned this big town for a number of years.
Wherever there's an opportunity to do something a little differently, we shoot for that.
Live at 5 is a presentation of WNBC-TV New York. I'm Don Pardo.
Matt Lauer joined Sue at the Live at 5 anchor desk in the mid-90s.
She brought a sense of unpredictability and emotion and sincerity and just raw humor to the surroundings.
The ads do not target specific shows, but sound the theme, Take the Trash Out of Talk Television. They begin airing on Friday. Lead poisoning will be the focus of a New York City council hearing tomorrow.
In 30 years in this business, I have completely lost it in terms of hysterical laughter.
Blanketed by nearly a foot of fresh snow. The white
and one time happened with Sue on Live at 5, and I just lost it, which made her lose it.
They had to slow it down on the way to work today.
I'm sorry, we're still a little tickled about that trash talk red dress number.
Okay.
All right. In our news from around the maybe we ought to go to a break. Let's go to a break. This is terrible. We're not going to go to a break, thanks.
It seemed like it was 6 hours long to me. Time stood still.
You get one of those laughing jags, and you can't get off it. It's kind of like doing a newscast next to an alligator. You never know when it's going to attack. It sits there, and then suddenly...
First, call her Madam Secretary.
Sue had many co-anchors throughout the years, but from the beginning, she and I were a team.
Chuck Scarborough, Sue Simmons.
We are just hours away from
covering events like the Winter Olympics, that dreadful Tuesday in 2001,
We're live at Ground Zero.
and its commemoration every year after. Hurricanes from the 80s to just last year. As I said a moment ago, I'm Chuck Scarborough. I still am, yes.
And
you're still Sue Simmons.
That's right.
Yes. And of course, there were those groundhog imitations. Sue knew how to have fun and always loved saying things off camera for shock value. Off camera, except for that one night when she thought a live promo was a rehearsal.
We need to acknowledge an unfortunate mistake that I made. And
It was the gaffe heard round the world.
The are you doing?
It generated controversy and a contrite apology.
I'm truly sorry. It was a mistake on my part, and I sincerely apologize.
Sue Simmons has been loved and admired by her colleagues and her audience for over 3 decades.
And thanks for the memory.
2 words jump out, and they are heart and class.
I, along with the rest of New York City, will miss you.
Sue Simmons is probably going to go down when they do write the history of New York local television, will go down as one of the greatest anchors in television history.
You did very well tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good to have you.
I'm so nervous I couldn't eat.
I see that. That's our news for this evening. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow.
And thank you so much.
Shut the front door. Almost got you, didn't you?
I thought thought you were going to cry. You know?
I have been crying for 2 weeks. You know.
We all have. It's been such a privilege and such an honor to work with you for all these years. I can't believe we're down to the last like 30 seconds together here on this broadcast after 32 and a half years.
I can't believe it either. This week I was thinking somebody's made a mistake.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
but you know. Everything comes to an end at some point, and you know, and this is it for me here at this station. I hope to be employed elsewhere at some point, even if it's maybe just once a week.
Well, we wish
but this is the best.
Okay, we've
This
got to
has been
go.
the best. We got to go. Oh well.
Say goodbye for the last time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.